Hello everyone, it's the 14th of January, Dress Up Your Pet Day. Again, this is a thing I didn't know about before, but we chose this again as the theme of today's tutorial. And once again, this is a fairly simple technique, so compared to other tutorials here, this is actually a slowed down version because it took me less than 5 minutes to do this. So to make sure that you understand what I'm doing here, I'm going to walk you through step by step. So first of all, I am in InDesign and I have the photograph placed in, and then I'm using the frame tool to create an empty fill, but with a stroke set, I think around 5 points, white stroke, and then also a subtle drop shadow on it. Then I use the selection tool, and holding that Alt option, I duplicate the frame, so I create a few different sizes from it. And what I keep in mind is that the end result will be whatever is visible within these frames is what we will see of the image. So I need to make sure that the most interesting details from the image will be still covered with these frames, and not by the overlapping parts. So wherever there's an overlap, there will also be visible edges. So like the little details of this cute cat, we want to make sure they will be visible. So that's what I'm trying to do with the frames. As you can see, once I have roughly the amount of frames that we need and also set them in the sizes that we need, I go on and add a bit of rotation. Once again, make it look like it's random postcards just thrown down on the table, but creating this unified image. That's pretty much the effect is about. So once I start to have the details in place, I can do a test and cut the image from the background. So I selected Edit Cut, and then select the first frame and choose Edit Paste Into. So that's the important feature. And then I'm just using the shortcut, selecting individual frames and using Command or Control Alt V. That's the Paste Into shortcut. And you can't do this all at once, so you have to do it one by one. But once you selected them all, you already see the effect. So the feature Paste Into remembers the original position of the image that we had in the background, and then placing it into these other custom frames that we created, it will still keep that unified look. So at this point, the only thing you need to consider is whether you want to use the order of the frames as they are, or maybe you just want them to come up or down. So you can use bring front or send to back keyboard shortcuts in case you need to change the order. And of course you can still play around with the frames as long as you're not moving them around. So it's important that you can select the edges and drag the edges around. You cannot rotate them anymore because obviously then the image inside them will also rotate. But simply just dragging the edges around or even the corner points won't affect the position of the image. In case you want to rotate them, or maybe if you want to add another frame to them, then there's again not a big problem. Just create your frame or rotate your frame and then paste into it again using the same shortcut, as long as the image is still on your clipboard. If it's not there anymore, then select one of your images by double clicking on it. So that's the image inside the frame, copy, and then paste into your new frames. So it's a fairly simple technique, and all I'm just doing here at the end is to add the text, the day or the theme of the day. And if you have a pet, then maybe you can consider doing a little bit of a dress up today, because that is actually the thing, as I said, dress up your pet day today. So I hope you enjoyed this technique, and there's really not much else to say about this. So maybe one thing that you can try is, instead of just using rectangular frames, maybe try the same technique with elliptical frames as well, or just purely circles, or maybe just triangles, or maybe even combine different shapes. So this will work with all kinds of different combinations. And sometimes I actually use this in a much more subtle way. Sometimes I end up using it the way you can see it here. So thanks a lot again for joining us today, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.